My name is Marco Antonio González Martinez.
And my name is Alejandro Diaz Vargas.
The comprehensible input was just speaking in easy English and using pictures and gestures, so they didn't need to translate. I said sentences like I wake up or I eat breakfast using the flashcards, and they could understand very well.
Yeah, that helped me with the production part. I asked them to work in pairs with the same flashcards. They asked each other, "What do you do in the morning, evening, at night?" And they answered 3 times before changing roles. It was a short and fun activity, and they participated more, felt safer, and used English in a simple way. To take advantage of that, it's necessary to foster the output. They had to speak in pairs. They asked the same question using flashcards. What do you do in the morning, evening, at night? With this, they practiced the language and felt more confident speaking English. All of this was made possible thanks to the guidance of our internship advisor, who provided feedback after each class, pointing out areas for improvement.
Following his advice and guidance, we believe we performed better these weeks of practice than in previous ones, and we will continue to improve with each class.
Hey, do you remember our teaching practice at Caritoino Secondary School? The one from September 22nd to October 3rd, and then again from November 3rd to November 14th.
Of course, those weeks were intense. Do you remember how we worked with the interaction patterns?
Yeah, in bad periods, we used the teacher-student whole class pattern a lot. We asked questions to the whole group and then chose a student to answer. It really kept everyone attentive.
Right, and during the second practice period, we used teacher listening much more. We asked questions like, can you describe your daily routine? Could you tell me some healthy habits? And what will you do during your holidays? I liked that because the students responded individually and the class became much more participative.
We also made sure to give clear instructions for every activity, which fits into teacher directing pattern, and we explained grammar topics like the simple future, so that was teacher informed pattern.
Yes, and when we taught vocabulary, we asked for both choral and individual repetition. That helped a lot with pronunciation.
And let's not forget the moments when students worked individually or in pairs. That student-led pattern worked well because they could go at their own pace and support each other.
Absolutely. Using different interaction patterns really helps make the classes more dynamic and improve their communicative skills.
I also feel that we applied the patterns better during the second practice period, especially teacher listening. The lessons felt more interactive and fluid.
Totally. I think we grew a lot as teachers during those weeks.
Games and gamification. In our journeys, adding games and using a gamification method helped us to make our teaching way more significant, engaging, and to make students participate in their own learning. Using games can make language learning more enjoyable and interesting for the students to interact with the class.
It's also important to know that gamification is crucial for teaching, as it's not just about presenting the topic, but also about using games to reinforce what has been taught. I used this resource during my teaching practice. For example, in my practice, I used a hot potato. How did I use it? Well, I was teaching the alphabet. I chose a student at random and I said hot potato several times. The student passed in their classmates, and when I said stop, the student who had it would answer, and I applied that in my practice.
Exactly, that's a good example. There is the power of using games and gamification. It transforms the classroom from a place of passive learning into a space of active learning. So our conclusion is clear. When we let the students play, we aren't just entertaining them. We are opening a door to meaningful learning that sticks with them long after the class is over. Thank you and see you.
Hi everyone, today we want to share our experience with discipline during our ELT practice.
Yes, even though we worked with different groups, both of us faced similar challenges. In my case, it was hard to keep the class organized while still keeping a warm, positive atmosphere. My students participated a lot, but sometimes their excitement turned into too much noise.
I relate to that. For me, the biggest problem was getting students to stay focused, especially when giving instructions. They understood, but they got distracted easily.
I tried using small attention signals and reminders, and they helped. But I feel like I still need to work on clearer routines.
Same here. I learned that discipline works better when expectations are consistent from the beginning.
Exactly, we're still learning, but these challenges help us grow a lot as future teachers.
Totally. Thanks for listening.
Hello, my name is Karina Herllanes Baños, and I'm going to talk about my teaching training practices. During my first period of practices, I was assigned to the secondary school number 1, Puerto Acapulco, where I work with two first grade groups. The topic I developed over the 6 practices sessions were assertive communication and the eradication of violence in the family and at school. The content included a final project of creating a poster against violence. So in teams, the students created their posters and presented them to the class in English. In my second period of practices, I was assigned to the secondary school number 70, and I work with the second grade groups. The topics I developed over the 6 sessions were English-speaking countries' habits and traditions, and the British tradition of tea time. For the final project, I had the opportunity to conduct a role-play activity using Realia. The role-play presentation was in teams, where students presented the British tradition of the tea time to the class. During both practices periods, I was observed and supervised by my ESL tutor, Dr. Renovato, who gave me insightful and valuable feedback. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.
Hi, I'm Jorge.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth, and today we will talk about icebreakers and warm ups.
Okay, many English teachers struggle to start the class because students are distracted or with low energy.
That's why it's essential to use icebreakers and warm ups that prepare both the mind and the learning environment.
Before sharing activities, let's clarify the difference. An icebreaker helps students get to know each other, interact, and overcome initial shyness.
And now warm ups activate the use of English and prepares their thinking for the main activity of the lesson.
Both serve different but complementary purposes.
One icebreakers I use during my teaching practice and work. Well, for middle school is two true and one lie. Each student mentions two true facts and one false one, and the older group identifies which is the lie.
A brainstorming session can work really well as an icebreaker. It allows the whole group to participate without pressure and encourages free ideas.
You can start by giving a word or a general topic, for example, travel, music, or technology, and students say all the words that come to mind relate to that concept.
These activities reduce initial tension and encourage communication.
Additionally, This type of activity gives the teacher a quick view of the student's pure vocabulary.
As for warm ups, an effective one is word chain. One student says a word, and the next must say another that begins with the last letter of the previous word.
Or picture prompt, you can show a quick images and students generate vocabulary or relate sentences within a limit time.
Both exercises train quick thinking in English.
Using this resource from the very beginning improves participation and students' readiness.
And it fosters a productive environment for the main class activities.
Thanks for watching. See you.
And that's all. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hi guys, welcome to this video. My name is Caroline and together with my partner Frida, we'd like to share a bit about our teaching practice experience. Fine, let's get started.
In our first teaching practice, we were placed at Escuela Secundaria Federal Number 1, Puerto Acapulco, located on the Costera Miguel Alemán. I worked with groups 1st and 4C, while Caroline taught groups 1st and 1st. During our second practice period, we taught at Escuela Secundaria General Number 70, Amado Nervo, on Insurgentes Avenue in Acapulco, where I again worked with 1st years groups, like 4C, and Caroline taught Group B.
Then, we improved our lessons a lot thanks to the feedback from our professor. He encouraged us to be more dynamic, to speak in English at all times, to arrange students in a U shape, to contextualize every lesson. Repeat, contextualize every lesson. This is more important. To make sure everyone participated, to use image and visual materials, to teach useful expressions with meaning and pronunciation, and to avoid relying too much on the board so we wouldn't waste time. In my classes, I used flashcards, posters, short text, and communicative activities like find someone who, charades, interviews, and short written productions. These activities increased students' speaking time and helped the grammar become meaningful in real use. I also improved my classroom management and the clarity of my instructions.
Yeah, actually, working with different groups helped me a lot to adapt methods and understand the variety of discipline levels and participation styles. Also, the professor's feedback helped me make my lessons more dynamic, visual, and interactive. I used dialogues, short role plays, images, flashcards, and activities like information gap task, and a lot of activities in general, which motivated students to participate and communicate in English with more confidence. Thanks to our professor's guidance, which really grew as teachers.
And well, to wrap things up, we hope this video is useful and helps other classmates who are beginning their journey in teaching English or any other language.
All these tips work for any kind of class, which is pretty amazing, right? Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.